Hi everybody, it's your guy here, the unknown, and today I want to share a couple of things with you that actually help me improve my trading. Okay, believe me, I this will help you if you are new or if you have been in the industry for quite some time. This will really help you, okay, because it helped me as well and it's easy to follow. So I'm gonna give you easy steps to follow, okay, to improve your trading. So without any further ado, let's jump into it. As I said, I'm gonna give you a couple steps to follow, but before we do that, I want to share with you something important, and I believe you already know this. Most hedge funds or most big players hire athletes. They prefer athletes as compared to those with commerce degrees, accounting degrees, and all sort of stuff. Why is it like that? Why do they prefer athletes? Most pro firms, I mean real pro firms, okay, they actually hire a lot of athletes. And today we're gonna look into that, okay? Why is it that they need athletes? Remember, the goal of every pro firm is to make money. And they know that for them to make money, they need athletes. Why is it like that? Okay, so let's look at this. I have four quotes that I'm going to share with you from athletes. Okay, the first quote is from James. Okay, you put in the work and then that confidence builds up. Okay, and you start to do things you really didn't know you can do. So this is important. You put in the work, then that confidence builds. Many people are struggling. Many people are struggling with entries. Many people are struggling with confidence, and confidence cannot be bought. I told you one thing that cannot be bought is experience. Okay, most traders are comparing their first year with somebody's 20th year. You cannot compare your first year with somebody's 20th year. Okay, because I've heard people saying, "Oh, this is not picking up. This is not picking up. Why can this person see it? I want to see it the very same way this person sees it." You can't see it the very same way another person sees it. That's the first thing. You have to see it in your own way, and to see it in your own way, you need experience. Okay, you need experience. So you have to put in the hard works, then that confidence will build up. Okay, because somebody on his 20th year sees entries immediately and they execute without fear. Why? Because they've already gone through many years of failure, they've already gone through many years of preparation, they've already put in many years, and what we see now is actually their best years. They are not going to share their years of failure. Okay, we only see their best years. And please don't make the mistake of trying to compare your beginnings with somebody's 50th year. Okay, we cannot buy experience. As you can see, this is how sports at least think. You put in the work, the confidence built in. We need the confidence, guys. The confidence is what makes the difference. Okay, I told you I backtest more than 4 hours a day, and I've been doing this for years. Okay, that's why my confidence has built up. That's why I'm able to share with you my trades that I've taken. Some people want to see them the very same way. Some people complain, but guys, you have to put in the work. And today I'm going to show you how to put in the work. Okay, the second quote is here by Simona. There is nothing magical in sports. You have to work hard. That's it. Okay, there is nothing magical in sports. You have to work hard. So this is how athletes think. Okay, so now we can see why most pro firms hire athletes. Okay, most retail guys are sitting from home, they're not preparing, they just think just because pressing the buy and the sell button is very easy, they can do it and everybody can do it. Just because they saw somebody flashing something on Instagram, on social media, they think this is easy. Guys, remember, trading is portrayed in a way that lose everybody into thinking that it's a get rich quick kind of thing. No, I told you in my previous video, and I'm gonna show you again, the slope of this industry. Okay, so as you can see, these guys are talking about hard work. Now Pele, we all know Pele, and we know the work that he did. Okay, we know how good he was. Okay, so here's his quote: success is no accident, it is hard work, perseverance, learning, studying, sacrifices, and most of all, love of what you do or what you are learning to do. As you can see, there is no substitute for hard work. Okay, there is no substitute for hard work. And let's go to the last quote from the most famous and well-known soccer star that we all love. Okay, some love him, but I love the fact that those who don't love him love Cristiano, and even Cristiano says the same thing when it comes to hard work. Okay, by the way, Cristiano works harder and harder and harder, and we all know that. Okay, and we love both of them. It took me 17 years and 144 days to become an overnight success. Okay, when we look at Messi, we say, oh, Messi is talented, Messi doesn't work hard. Guys, look at this. It took me 17 years and 144 days to become an overnight success. And one thing about Messi, I follow Messi a lot. One thing about Messi is he trains more when he's at his home than he does when he's at his practice. Okay, he has training facilities at his home, and he trains more when he's at home. So this goes to show the mindset of athletes. Okay, this goes to show the mindset of athletes. Now we know how athletes think. Now we know why prop firms prefer athletes, and that is the most important thing. Okay, so as I said in my previous video, trading is this kind of a business. It slopes down before it picks up. And here, these are all the years of struggle. These are all the years of sacrifices. These are all the years of failures. And these are all the years of tears and wanting to give up and stuff and all the losses here. Okay. So trading will never be like this. Okay. Even if you have a good mentor who's dedicated to you, your slope will not be like this, but will rather be like this. Okay. That will only shorten this time. Okay, but this period is there. Everybody goes through it. Everybody goes through failure. Everybody goes through stress. Everybody goes through losses. That's why I always say follow Peter Branded. One thing I love about Peter Branded is he was working on a trading floor, and he had a lot of people to learn from, but his first 3 years were just a disaster. He was busy blowing accounts. Today we see him as one of the best in the world, but he always shares his first 3 years, okay, and how disastrous they were. So guys, you must think about this. You must always bear this in mind. Okay, you must always bear this. So one thing I love about this industry is, like, we have a lot of tools that can actually shorten this, okay, this period. Even if you don't have a dedicated mentor, we can shorten this process. Okay, like we can have a graph like this where we have a very short time of struggles, sacrifices, and all sort of stuff, and then everything starts to pick up. But remember, you're gonna need to work maybe 10 times more than you are doing right now, okay, to shorten this. And I'm gonna show you those steps. Okay, first of all, there is a lot of noise in this industry. There is a lot of noise. Okay, there are thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of strategies out there. Okay, even though most of the strategies are one and the same thing, is just that people are calling them different names. Okay, but there's a lot of noise, and to avoid that noise, I always say these things. Okay, most of my videos revolve around one thing. Why? Because it's the same thing, and trading is not supposed to be difficult, but it is meant to be difficult when you are starting. Okay, so if people say it's a get rich quick kind of thing, I don't know, but what I know is that there's this pace where you will go through this pace. It doesn't matter what you believe. Okay, you will go through this pace. So one thing is, since there is a lot of noise, guys, find one setup or one strategy that you are following. Follow only one strategy. Follow only one setup. That's why in my playbook I only put one setup, even though now I'm adding another one. The reason is I now believe that most people are aware of that one setup that is in my playbook. And yes, of course, another thing, people are impatient. They don't wait for the setup to complete. Sometimes your setup won't be there every day. Maybe in a week you might see it 2 times, but follow only one setup. Okay, follow one setup, master it, and be good in it. Okay, I'm not saying follow the setups on this channel. No, follow any setup, but make sure you follow one setup, because if you're gonna keep on learning from different people, somebody's gonna use Bolanda Burns, somebody doesn't use Bolanda Burns, somebody uses RSA, somebody doesn't use RSA. You're gonna end up lengthening the learning time. Okay, it's gonna take you maybe 10 years before this graph picks up, because you are following the noise. You think this person is doing right, this one is doing wrong. Oh, now this one works. No, guys, there is no holy grail. There is no one strategy that is perfect. Okay, every strategy will have its own losses, its own advantage, and its own disadvantages. You just have to choose one strategy that is easy for you. Remember, it's about simplicity. Okay, something you understand. Make it your A+ setup. Okay, so once you have found one setup, now it becomes way too easy. The second step, I've shared this in my first video, but today I'm gonna share with you something. Okay, the second step is actually to put in the work. Okay, put in the work. Okay, why? Because your entries and my entries are not gonna be the same. Your entries and somebody's entries are not gonna be the same. Okay, we're not gonna see the same charts the same way. Okay, so you have to find something that works for you. You have to find your own entries and your own exits. Okay, I'm going to show you something very important right now. Let's go to my charts. Okay, I want to share with you something important. Okay, one thing I do is I always backtest. I told you I backtest more than 4 hours each and every day. Okay, so if you look at this is roughly US 30. It has become my favorite, more especially if I'm trading the most explosive trading strategy. As you can see, this is a 1 hour, and if you look here, there's a trade taken. This is a simulation. That's why you always see this triangle. This shows that this is a simulation. Okay, if I click here, it will show you this is a simulation. And even on the charts, if you look here, it's offline. These charts are offline. So this is a trade taken when I was back testing. I told you I use a tool called Soft Effects, and it is in my description. Okay, I love this tool because it's very easy. And you see, this is the tool. You can buy, you can sell, you can set your own budget. You will see if you are growing, if you are falling. You can put your stop loss and your take profit. Okay, you can choose any year. They have data for many years. You can choose 2021. You can backtest any year you want. Okay, and one thing I also love about this is that if there were news on the day, you can just download all the news, and then it will show you, okay, news are coming, what time, and you can actually trade as you do on a live account each and every single day. Okay, so that's what I use every day. So as you can see, this is a 1 hour time frame. Okay, this is a 15-minute time frame. So I told you on this kind of strategy, I'm not going to explain the strategy, but I want to show you the steps that I take that actually improve my trading. Okay, you see, this is a trade I've taken. Okay, I took it on a 1 minute time frame, but I want to see what's happening on a 5 minute time frame. And the moment I press play after buying and stuff, these charts are going to play at the same time. The 1 hour, the 15 minutes, the 5 minute, the 1 minute, any time frame I choose, they are going to be playing at the same time. They are going to be giving the very same thing. Okay, so I told you I just speed up all these candles, and then when the equity starts, that's when I pause and I reduce the speed to real time. So if it's gonna take say on the day, maybe the setup happened 2 hours after the equity has opened. Even on the chart, it's gonna happen 2 hours after the equity has opened. So I'm gonna take all the time and sit and just observe. Remember, I want everything to be in real time. So when it's in real time, it simulates the exact situation of the market. Okay, so I'm not missing anything. As you can see, I want trap traders before the session begins. I want to see the session opening, and I wait for the engulf. Okay, if you see here, this is, I've already explained this is something like an explosive kind of trend. I shared with you 3 types of trend. Okay, so I can see on a 15-minute what is happening. Remember, I'm back testing. Remember, I'm practicing. Maybe it's during the weekend, that's why these charts are offline. Then I come to a 5 minute time frame. On a 5 minute time frame, I can still see the same. I see what? I see an explosive kind of trend. What is an explosive kind of trend? It's a trend whereby you have two trend lines. Like you see, they hit this trend line perfectly, and then they move to another level where they start hitting the trend line perfectly. Okay, this is something like an explosive kind of trend. Okay, then I go to a 1 minute time frame. You see, on a 1 minute time frame, this is gonna get interesting. I'm gonna show you something interesting in a minute. Okay, if you look at this is where they are consolidating. I told you in my previous video, I actually showed you the patterns I'm looking for, trapping patterns. I'll show you quite quick. Okay, these are the patterns. This is a rectangle. Okay, a rectangle is a trapping pattern. Here they give me what? They give me a slope. This is an explosive kind of trend. Why? Because we already seen on a 15 minutes time frame that this is an explosive kind of trade. Okay, so already I know when I'm on my 1 minute time frame that this is an explosive, as you can see. Okay, and then here, but I've already drawn that on a 5 minute time frame. But when I come to the session, I can see this slope. It's in line with what? It's in line with the slopes that happened earlier. I told you in one of my videos, if you watch my videos, I shared everything about this with you. Okay, and then I told you I'm waiting for evidence. So this is a trapping rectangle. As you can see, they make that W, they break out of it. As you can see, they pull back to get breakout traders. They pull back, and then they start trending, giving a normal trend on a 1 minute time frame. I shared with you different kind of trends. So they give this very bullish engulf. That's what I am waiting for. This is my evidence. Yes, sometimes they are gonna give a rare track. Say for instance, they're gonna give a rare track and go down. I just know that if they give a rare track, then I'm gonna lose this trade. Okay, there's always room for that. But how do you gain the confidence of taking a trade knowing that, okay, if they give a rare track, you're gonna lose? It's all on the hard work you put. It's all on the number of hours you put into backtesting. Here I'm not showing the strategy, I'm just showing you how I backtest. Okay, this is backtesting. As you can see, the charts here are offline. Okay, so this is obviously what I did in backtesting. So I took this trade right here and I took my 50 pips. You already know on the most explosive trading strategy for indices, I always take 50 pips. How did I come up with this, guys? It's through backtesting. I told you, look for a strategy, then you must backtest. When you backtest, you're gonna know what works for you. You're gonna know what happens frequently. You're gonna know where and how you should enter. Okay, you're gonna know where you should put your stops. You can never ever replicate everything somebody is doing. You might know the strategy, but when it comes to entries and everything, it's gonna be on you. Okay, so you have to put in the work. You have to backtest. You have to backtest. You have to backtest. You have to backtest. There is no substitution for hard work. Okay, as you can see, after the trade is taken, I do what? I then come and write all these things. The stop loss obviously was here, so that you can see the entry was here on the engulf, as you can see here. Okay, and my stop loss was down here, and this is this is a breakout from trap volume. All this volume down here for me is trap. That's why I put a green color. Okay, as you can see here, trap area. Then they went 50 pips. I was out of the trade, and then after that, what do I do? Now I've taken it. What do I do? Let's go again to let's go again. We are coming here. The third step, you are putting in the work. How do you put the work? You put in the work in the form of what? Backtesting. You put in the work in the form of what? Backtesting. Okay, you backtest, you read books, you listen to podcasts, see how other people are doing, but the most effective thing is to backtest. Okay, and I'm using this tool because it helps a lot. Okay, sometimes people don't have tools. They want to backtest on graphs where they see the results. Remember, when I backtest, I choose any day. I don't know the results of that day. Okay, because I just select a day on the tool, and then it will like remove all the candles up to that day. I don't even know what happened on the day. I'm gonna backtest to see what I see, how I see it, where I take my entry. If it's a loss, it's a loss, it's okay. And then I have an account of $100. I want to see if I will maybe take it to $1,000. If I blow it, then I'm gonna start again. Okay, but the third most important thing is recording. Okay, I did something like a small Google document that will actually show you the steps that I follow. Okay, put in the work. We put in the work in the form of what? Backtesting. There is an African athlete that I love so much who ran and won in a couple of seconds, and everybody was happy when it's a girl. When she was interviewed, she says people see what are the results. They see me as a champion today. One thing they don't know is that I spent over 20 years practicing, training, failing, practicing, failing, training. So it is there, guys. It is there. There's no substitute for hard work. That's why prop firms hire more athletes than people with qualifications. So after that, I've taken my trades. Okay, now I have a document. This is a document I did yesterday just to share with you how you can do this. Okay, it's a Google Doc. It's very easy. You go to Google Docs and you can do this thing. As you can see, I write the name of the strategy. Here I wrote that I'm targeting 50 pips every day. If you have been following my channel, you already know that I target 50 pips each and every day. Then I give an overview. This setup happens almost every day. I aim to make a profit of 50 pips each time I trade indices. My stop loss is strictly between 10 to 25 pips. Okay, yes, this might affect my risk reward ratio because mostly it's 1:5. 50 pips, if I risk 10 pips, that means it's 1:5. Okay, most of the time it's going to be 1:5. Why? Because these are explosive kind of trades, and when you enter, the thesis is mostly they're just going to go. You're not going to see drawdowns. Okay, but I will always put my stop below the engulfing candle. Okay, most of the days, because it's a 1 minute time frame, you might find it 10 pips, sometimes 15 pips, sometimes 25 pips. Okay, but I am not really willing to go beyond 25 pips. Okay, and then as you can see here, I just give an overview of the strategy on a Google Doc. Okay, guys, people want results, but they don't want to put in the work. That's crazy. Okay, that's crazy. I believe in hard work. Okay, and I believe something might get worse before it gets better. Okay, I have to be prepared. I have to be prepared. I have to know the challenges. Okay, so here's another thing. Here's how I execute this strategy. First, I analyze where trading volume is trapped before the session. I've shared these things with you, okay, before the session begins. I do this 30 minutes before the New York Open. Then I wait for the session to open. Once it's open, I observe trap volume during the session, identifiable through specific patterns shown below. Okay, I haven't put the patterns yet, but I'm gonna put them in this document. Okay, as you already know, this is a strategy I've started using most recently. Okay, after identifying this trap volume, I look for a large candle that engulfs the entire trapping zone. This signals a shift in market from all those trapped who are now relying on hope and praying for prices to return back to break even so they can exit with small losses. I spoke about this in my recent videos. Okay, the market will always punish traders who find themselves relying on hope. You know, I've shared this with you, that I've also said that if you find yourself in a losing trade where you're relying on hope, just close it. Okay, if you don't have stop losses. If you have stop losses, okay, they're gonna hit your stop loss and you're gonna be out of the trade. No hope, no nothing. Okay, so that's the way to trade. Okay, most especially those who do not use stop losses. As I've just said, this engulfing candle is where I take my trade. And then what do I do after the trade? After entering the trade, I step away from my charts for an hour. I told you this kind of trading strategy will hit the take profit in roughly 1 minute, sometimes 2 minutes, 3 minutes. On average, for me, it has been roughly 5 minutes. Okay, and then here, okay, I step out for an hour. If the trade hasn't reached my take profit or stop loss, when I return, I close it. Okay, I told you this kind of trades will give you the profit in less than will hit your take profit mostly in less than 15 minutes. Sometimes, yes, they can go up to 30 minutes, but I told you if it exceeds 30 minutes, that's why just close the trade, either at small losses or partial profits. Just close it. Okay, then I record the results in my journal and close my charts for the day. Okay, but that's not all. Later, with a clear mind, I review my trade to identify areas of improvement. So I do the reviewing later when I have a clear mind, because say for instance you took a loss, now you're gonna be biased. Maybe that loss will just get into your mind and stuff. Or if it's a win, maybe that win might get in your mind and you might think, oh, I'm good in this, I always win this kind of trades, I always win them. I've shared with you the results, okay, because this is the strategy that has been giving the most results. Okay, so I don't want that to get into my head. So I wait, I come later in the evening before I start analyzing for tomorrow, for other strategies. What I do is I review the trade to see where I went wrong, if I entered early, or to analyze the entire situation. Okay, and then as you can see, I have my goals 50 pip, and the ultimate goal is to take the biggest lot size, targeting the same 50 pips. Okay, and then you can see my entry criteria: trap volume before the session, equity opening, trap volume during the session. Okay, the patterns I'm gonna put them in this book. Engulfing candle that shift the zone from trap traders. Be able to see traders who are in pain and relying on hope. Okay, my rules: exit rule is 50 pips. That is strictly, I don't change my target. Okay, activities after the trade: I close my chart for 1 hour, same thing I've explained there. If it's not hit, I'm gonna close it, and then I journal, record the trade with images of different time frames, write a report based on the performance of the trade. I do this later in the evening when I have a clear mind to avoid being biased. You see, I told you this is the daily process. This is a daily process. So this is something, this is not the original document I used, but I just created this one to show you what I do and how you can do it. As you can see here, I'm going to put in the date, I'm going to put in the pair, and I'm going to put in the charts. This is a 1 minute time frame. I can see the image of the whole trade. In one of my videos, I shared with you a tool for journaling. Okay, you can also do this. And one advantage of also doing this, because I do both, one advantage of doing this is that after a long time, you're gonna have a very big book, and then you can read that book during the weekends whenever you are free. You can just go print it and then just go and read it. Okay, this will help you. So I write what I saw on the trade, what actually was my trigger for an entry, and then I write the performance of the trade and everything that happened on a 1 minute chart. Okay, and then I'll come to a 5 minute chart. I'm gonna write everything I saw and what really influence my decision for taking the trade. Okay, and I'm gonna do that as well on a 15-minute time frame. As you can see, this is the 15-minute time frame, and I have the screenshots right here. So this is important, because over time you're gonna have a very big document, maybe 500 pages over time, because you have to have two documents. You have a document for backtesting, and then again you have a document for live trades. Okay, this is very important. Okay, so you can read the document for backtesting, and you can also read the document for live trades and see where you are going wrong, see where you have to improve, see what you have to improve, because there's always room for improvement. Okay, and over time backtesting will build on your confidence. Okay, so that even when you see the trade happening in lifetime, you're gonna take it with no fear. Okay, so for me, I've developed a behavior whereby I see these trades and I take them without fear. Okay, that's why I share with you all the results. Okay, when I'm backtesting, you'll see the charts will be like offline charts, and I trade on a MTM5. I do my backtesting and everything and my analysis on a MT4. Okay, so guys, as you can see, this is the process that really helped me. Okay, this is just a document I created to help all of you see the process. Okay, when you are reading through this notes, say maybe on a weekend, you will see where you went wrong, because you can see your entire trade. Okay, you can see your entire trade. Why did you take it here? Now you can start questioning yourself, and you can just write what you have to improve, where you have to improve, the mistakes you are making. Then you get to know yourself. If you have a psychological problem, then okay, my problem is psychology. Okay, I'm jumping in early. Okay, I'm not waiting for the pattern to complete. Okay, this and this and this. Okay, because one thing I can assure you is that market conditions change over time. Okay, markets change over time. You might see that now they are giving this pattern and they are giving engulf and going in a direction, and then after 6 months later you realize that, oh, what they are now doing is they're giving a rarer track, and then they are giving false breakout, and then okay, this is what they're doing. So when you do this, you get to know the tricks that the markets are doing. You get to know when markets are changing and how they are changing, so that you can actually amend your strategy to suit the market condition at that stage, because market will change and will trade in one pattern for a long time. I think it's something they build into their algorithms. Okay, so if it's something or a change they put into the algorithms, then obviously, because we already know that day trading is more manipulation, market makers will manipulate everybody. Okay, that's why 90% of traders are losing. So you know that, okay, if they coded some changes on the algorithm, those changes are gonna happen for some time. Okay, when they see that people are getting used to this, that's when they can like change market behavior, change this and this and this here and then here. Okay, that's why we have to constantly be at our best, constantly improve, constantly change. And you can only do this when you are journaling, and as you go through your documents every weekend or later in the evening, that's where you get to realize, okay, now there's a change. Oh, this happened the whole week last week. Oh, it's happening again this week. So that's something that will help you improve and actually channel your strategy toward the new improvements of the market condition or the market behavior. So guys, I don't want to make this video long. These steps will really help you. Okay, find one system or one strategy. Find one strategy. Okay, then go and put in the work. We put in the work in the form of backtesting. You have to find your own entries, you have to find your own exits, you have to find something that resonates with you, something that you see happening over and over again. You can't replicate something somebody is doing. Okay, we all learn from somebody, but at some point we have to break out like a bird. When it's born, it depends on the parent, and then there's a time where the feathers start growing, and then it goes out and fend on itself. So there's a time when we have to build things on our own. Okay, because one thing that's going to make a trader great is having an urge that like resonates with you, that aligns with you. You might be using a strategy you learn from somebody, but you're going to improve it here and there. Okay, and that's the most important thing. Make it yours, make it something you understand, because we're going to have different trading styles and at the end of the day, but it's, as I said, most strategies are the same thing. People are changing names to names that they understand. They're changing this and this and this. Okay, they're improving this and this. Maybe the timings, when you are backtesting, you realize, oh, at this time, maybe let's say 10:30 US time, this is what they give. Oh, and then over time you realize, oh, at the same time, this is what they give, because I believe those algorithms are are actually coded in a way that takes time into consideration. Okay, there are certain behaviors that repeat themselves at a specific time, so you have to know that. How are you going to know that? You're going to know that when you backtest. Look at the time. Okay, look at the patterns, look at what they are doing. I'm going to give you a sheet with patterns. Okay, as I've already said, record the results. Okay, so even if you have my playbook, one strategy, at some point you have to work on it, find ways that work for you. Okay, find entries that work for you. Okay, things that happen over and over and over again, because the goal is to have something that happens over and over again. If it shows up 10 times, you take it, it wins 5 times, you lose 5 times. That's a very good setup. Okay, as long as you understand it, as long as it works for you guys, I appreciate you. I wish you all the best. Thank you.